Welcome along. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how you can automate 6 key parts of your business, which is actually the secret to consistent monthly revenue. And if you choose to do them all, you would never experience that feast and famine cycle that so many of my colleagues talk about in freelance dietetics, where you have money coming in one month and then nothing for the next. So these automations, these also buy you freedom, because when they're up and running, they just don't require any of you. So you can go off and do other things, which is exactly what I did in The Children's Nutritionist that allowed me the time to start my Dietitians in Business company. Automation is the foundation for passive income. But before we dive in, I know that there's a lot of skepticism around the phrase passive income, and I don't particularly like it myself because this type of work is not 100% passive. It does require a lot of work to set up and tweak and look at the results and make changes. But what I want you to know is that once it's all up and running, you can 100% make money while you sleep, while you are off doing other things, while you are on holiday, for example. Last week, we were in Croatia for a fortnight. And yes, I did take my laptop with me, but I'm very proud of myself because I didn't open it until day 13. And that was only because it was the last day of the month. And I wanted to see how much money I'd earned on autopilot through automations whilst being away. So before you can truly appreciate the power of automation in your business, you need to know how a funnel works. And so I'm going to give you a very brief overview of a very simple sales funnel. So funnels, I think, sometimes make business sound complicated or a little bit scary, but they're not. And in fact, business is much, much easier when you have a funnel in place. So a funnel, it's just marketing speak for the journey that someone goes on from when they very first find out about you to becoming a customer. So another way to think of it is just a series of steps. But with this funnel or customer journey, you get to decide what their steps are going to be. And actually, without a sales funnel, you are just winging it in your business and hoping for the best. And I don't want that for you. So the basic funnel is the same for each and every business that exists. Sure, you can make your funnel more complicated with extra bells and whistles and add in extra steps here and there, but the basic customer journey goes a bit like this. So step 1, people find out about you for the first time, also known as visibility. Step 2 is they decide they want to learn a bit more, and so they become a lead. Then step 3, they start to poke around a bit and consume your free content, like your blogs. They might listen to a podcast if you've got one. They might watch your videos, and they'll read your email newsletters that you send out. So this is the nurture piece and the connection piece. Then step 4, they love you so much that when you present an offer in front of them, they'll consider it, or they might even just say yes and buy it. So this is the invitation and the sales step. And then step 5, they might become a customer. And this is where they are onboarded into the experience of working with you. And step 6, they have a really great customer experience, and this is when they're then offboarded and they will provide feedback for you, they will advocate for you, they'll provide social proof. So what is brilliant is you can automate all of these steps throughout your sales funnel or your customer journey. And when you do, you'll actually have a business that runs and sales that come in on autopilot. So I've got a little story that I want to share with you here. Back in 2018, I had a baby weaning course. And as part of the funnel that led to the sale of this course, there were several lead magnets that, when downloaded, they triggered an email sequence where the offer of the course was made. Now, I don't promote this anymore. I pivoted into fussy eating in 2020. But you know what? Those lead magnets, they're still out there. And now and again, sales come in, which is absolutely blooming amazing. I've done absolutely nothing for years, nearly 5 years, to promote this course, and it still makes me money. Last week, when we were on holiday in Croatia, I wasn't working, but 4 sales for this course came in completely by random, which was a lovely surprise. And it's actually what made me decide to come home and create this episode all about automation, because I really want to share with you exactly how powerful it can be for you and your business. I am so passionate about all of this. After more than 2 decades of being overworked and underpaid in the NHS, it was this automation that brought me back my freedom. And the amazing thing is, all of this technology is available to us. It's not complicated to use. And all you really need is an internet connection and a device. I honestly feel that at the moment, we're kind of in the middle of this digital revolution, where we can jump on board with this and take massive advantage of what the digital world has to offer us. We can help anyone who needs our expertise from anywhere in the world at any price point. If they don't have enough money to book and pay for one-to-one consultations, we can still help people by selling them a cheaper £27 ebook on the topic instead. So honestly, if you aren't taking advantage of the digital world and of automation, I feel that number one, you're leaving easy money on the table. And number two, you aren't reaching and helping as many people with their health as you could do. And I come to this from a place of service, as I know you all do too. It's not about the money. It's all about who we can help. Okay, I digress. So here are the 6 things that you can and actually you should automate in your business. So automation number 1 is visibility. You need to get your business in front of new people every single day. And the most obvious way to do this is via social media. Now, if you've been around for a while, you will know that I do not love social media, but what I do love is what it can do for my business. And so I am 100% going to be using automation so that I do not have to be on social media in real life. So to get the most out of social media for business, I know that I need to be posting consistently. And so this is where automation comes in for me. So I'll set aside a day or 2 days per month to batch create and schedule all of my social media posts. That way, I know I have a consistent posting schedule for the month ahead, and I know it's actually going to happen. If I left it to take care of on the day, it just wouldn't happen. Other more interesting things would come along and I would be distracted. Now, not strictly automation, but to make life easier for yourself, absolutely repurpose your content. So upload blog posts that you might have written or previous social media posts that you might have written into AI tools like ChatGPT and get it to create social posts for you. Save yourself time, save yourself energy, and I never want you to be stuck staring at that blinking cursor again. Then, you know what, you can take this up a notch and you can automate by using paid advertising as well, like Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this here because I recorded an episode on ads just a couple of weeks ago. That's episode 20 if you want to go back and have a listen. But essentially, this is all about getting a few of your social media posts into literally thousands, if not more, of people's news feeds. So really ramping up that visibility even further. And that leads us nicely on to automation number 2, which is lead generation. So lead generation is collecting people's email addresses, often in exchange for a freebie. So these leads, they're your potential clients. And without leads, you don't have a business. It's so important. You need a way of converting those people that have just discovered you, either through social media, visibility, or whatever method you've used. You need a way to convert them into email subscribers, because email is how you take them on that next step of the journey towards wanting to work with you. Your email list is the most valuable asset of your business, and you need to be bringing in new leads every single day. So how do you incorporate automation here? So you might have some of those social media posts or your ads promoting your freebie. And then people click on the link, they get sent to an opt-in page where they sign up. That opt-in takes their name and it takes their email address and it adds them to your email list, and then they're automatically delivered the freebie. Now, after the freebie automation, it continues with a series of emails called a welcome sequence, and that helps get your subscriber to like you, to begin to trust you, because you're making a really great first impression through this sequence of emails. So you set this up once and it continues 24/7 forever. All you need to do is drive traffic from your social media to your freebie opt-in page, and the rest happens by magic, or automation actually. So another automation you can take advantage of is the social media DM autoresponders like ManyChat. I know you will have seen people create social posts and in the caption they ask readers to comment a certain keyword. Now this keyword triggers an automation in the DMs. For example, I've got a free fussy eating masterclass and I might create a post asking people to comment the word masterclass if they want the link. And when they do, first of all, they'll get a reply to their comment asking them to go and check their DMs. And then in the DMs, there's a nice message from me with a link to book their seat on the masterclass. And of course, to do so, they have to leave me their name and their email address, and they become a new lead on my list. So once these leads are on my list, I want to nurture that relationship and I want to form a deeper connection with these people. And that's where my third automation comes in. So every time I've written a really great newsletter email, I add it to a sequence that starts after the welcome sequence ends and it's delivered once a week. If I have published a new blog, or if I've written a great social media post, or perhaps even an article for a newspaper or a magazine, I've taken that content and I've repurposed it and turned it into an email format, and I've added that into the sequence as well. So now I've got over 2 years worth of really great emails in a sequence that goes out automatically to all the people on my list on a weekly basis after that initial welcome sequence. And within this sequence, I periodically have promotional emails that tell people about an offer that links through to a sales page where the details of that offer are listed out. But I also might be running a promotion in real life as well, and I've probably talked about it on my social media. And I've asked people to click a link and that takes them through to a sales page. And so that's where automation number 4 kicks in, and that is the sales process. So people land on the sales page through these links, and if they decide to buy, they click through to the checkout, and some of them buy, which is brilliant. And the checkout is linked to a payment processor. So I'm taking payment there and then. There's no invoicing. And if it's an offer that requires an appointment, that's also a link to my booking diary, which is linked to my calendar in real time as well. So as I say, there's no invoicing, there's no back and forth organizing dates. It all happens by automation. In my Dietitians in Business company, I like to talk to all of my clients first before I decide whether we're going to be a good fit together and go on and work together. So from my sales page here, it links through to my booking calendar directly to book a free discovery call, and that's done by automation as well. There's no back and forth, there's no arranging dates, it's all just done. The date pops up in my calendar and I turn up at the right time. So after someone buys, they are automatically redirected to a thank you page. There might even be a smaller offer on that thank you page. That's called a tripwire or a one-time only offer. And then all the details of what they've bought is automatically sent in an email to their inbox. So I do this in my nutrition business for things that cost from $9.99 right through to my 1497 program. And it's these 4 automations together that give me the consistency in my revenue, avoiding that whole feast and famine cycle. And then automation 5 is the onboarding. So I use automation here to make sure that everyone gets the same really high standard of customer service when they work with me. So this could include emails with the pre-consultation questionnaires, food diaries, that sort of thing. But it can also be things like their login details so that my clients can access the taught elements of my programs. They'll also get information about where the community side of things is located, some first steps on how to get started, and access to my diary to book in their follow-up appointments or their group calls. And the purpose of this is to really make sure that everyone gets a superb new client experience. And then finally, automation number 6 happens after my clients have completed their program or their service with me. I've automated the offboarding. So here they'll get an email with a testimonial request with a link for them to complete a written form, but also a link for them to do a video testimonial if they want to. And I do like a video testimonial. I am also asking in this offboarding sequence for feedback because I want to be able to make continuous improvements to these services for future versions of my programs. Also, if I'm doing any market research, this might be included as well. So, for example, at the moment, I'm looking into my fussy eating clients' demographic and specifically those people who choose to pay in full. I want to find out a bit more about them so I can tweak and change and improve my marketing to, well, ultimately get more clients. And then finally, if you have a referral scheme like refer a friend and earn, you can automate the invitation to join that as well. And this is a really great way to expand your client base when a past client who's had a really positive experience advocates for you. So there you have it. You now know my 6 automations. Number 1 is visibility. Number 2 is lead generation. Number 3 is nurture and connection. Number 4 is your sales process. Number 5 is onboarding new clients. And number 6 is offboarding and gathering of feedback. So no doubt you will have spotted there's a bit of a common theme here, isn't there? And it's consistency. So the key to business growth is being consistent. Now, of course, you need to have an offer that people want to buy. And yes, that can be a struggle when you're just getting started because people don't just want what they can get for free on the NHS if they wait long enough. They expect more. But when you have that offer refined, you also need to have an audience of people who love you to sell it to. And the power of automation is that it can do all of this for you consistently. It's actually very hard to grow and scale a business without that consistency. And if you're someone like me who gets excited and distracted about the next project, this shiny object syndrome can actually stop us from being consistent with our marketing. So automation can safeguard against that. And that is why I absolutely love it. So my action step for you is to ask yourself, are there any inconsistencies in any of these 6 areas? And if so, could you adopt automation to make sure that these things happen on autopilot? This is what I help my clients set up in my Accelerate Mastermind. So if any of this has resonated, but you don't know where to start and you are ready to make this business thing work, then my diary is open for discovery calls right now, where we can chat about potentially working together. Just head over to sarahAlmondBushell.com, where you can book a free Zoom discovery call with me by automation. So join me next week, where I'm going to talk about launching, and specifically what it is, why do people do it, and whether you need to do it as a health business owner too. Well, that's it for another week. I hope you have loved this week's episode of the Beyond the Clinic podcast. If you have, I would love for you to leave me a review on whichever podcast player you use, because it's this that helps us get pushed out to more listeners, and then I can help more professionals with their businesses too. Bye for now.